What a weekend. And I sit here and I say to you, what a weekend. I dare you to come up with a better weekend in recent memory. My God.
Local or national?
Local. Local.
Big weekend.
What a weekend. Panthers, they got it going again. Incredible 6-7 win. You know about that 6-7 win on 6-7 day?
All too well.
Come on. Inter Miami. They win the college football. They win
the
won MLS Cup.
They did
the
win
Canes, they're in the college football playoffs. Cyclones, and Dan decides to go to New York.
Football is back, Jack. Oh my, we've waited for so long. We're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air. When the chips are down and you throw a prayer. When your team is primed and on the hunt. It's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control. And we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Look at us in Miami. Look at us in New York. Both spaceships up together. And I legitimately, Pablo, do not know where and how to start the local hour today because I've got Inter Miami winning a championship on one hand, and I've got Notre Dame screaming at the sky on the other hand. It's not even about Miami making the playoffs as much as it is about Notre Dame whimpering, rightly whimpering. And I genuinely feel bad for them, and I didn't think there was a circumstance under which I could feel bad for Notre Dame.
You're also wearing like 3 layers of clothing right now.
It's unbelievably cold here. I hate it. How is it back in Miami? How is everybody back in Miami? I want to feel Miami out here, the warmth of Miami. I want to feel it up here in New York. Let me feel it.
Oh, my God. What a weekend. What a weekend.
Let's go.
Of all the dramatic things, the Miami Hurricanes. That's what I'm talking about, Dan.
We're not going to talk about the Kings game.
No, we'll leave that alone. I was stunned that Zaslow started with the Panthers game, a 7-6 win.
Oh, you know about that 6-7? Come on now, Dan. Come on. 6-7.
I am having let's start with Inter Miami for a second here before we get to what everybody wants listening to this, which is the college football Miami Notre Dame stuff. But this is Lionel Messi's 43rd title, and I'm legitimately having a difficult time finding out where to put it on his resume. And I'm also having a bit of a hard time trying to figure out how to put it on Miami history's sports resume, because you've got the local teams. The Dolphins have won a couple of times. The basketball team has won 3 times. The baseball team has won twice. The Panthers have won twice. And then the University of Miami football team is the one with the most championships. And this feels to me like it's a good deal larger than the University of Miami baseball team winning a championship. The basketball team obviously hasn't won anything, but I don't know where to put it in the pantheon. So, Pablo, tell me here, like nationally, no one cares about MLS, right?
I would say that I really didn't think about it until I saw Mike Ryan doing the robot in Miami, and I was like, I wonder if any part of that robot is because of this team.
Mike Ryan went to the game.
It's a huge moment for soccer fans in Fort Lauderdale. during the December month.
Yeah.
Before the show, we were kind of bouncing around like, where does this rank on the list of career achievements for Lionel Messi? He has 43 titles.
Okay, when you say he's got 43 titles, like, what does that mean, 43
He's won
titles?
43 trophies.
Like, Michael Jordan's got 6 titles.
So-
Messi's got 43?
I think we've slotted it just behind a gold medal, an Olympic gold medal, just ahead of the Leagues Cup. Remember, this is not the first trophy that Inter Miami have won with Messi on the roster. So I think 31 sounds good. We have ranked it 31st on Messi's career achievements.
Okay, let me direct Mike instead of Pablo then for the editorial judgment on where it is we should start the local hour today, given your Homer biases, given the fact that you helped fly a plane in Texas over where the committee was to remind them that head-to-head mattered. I legitimately think, Pablo, that Mike Ryan and people of his voice actually helped change this because the committee was forced long before they had to do it to put Notre Dame and Miami side to side. And I believe arguing actually got Miami into the playoff.
I think it's never been clearer, and it's never been sadder that Mike Ryan is an actual bona fide power broker. He is actively changing the conversation. He is throwing dark money, which maybe is, Dan, your money, but maybe also just Mike's money. I don't know.
He didn't even
Who's
tell
funding Mike Ryan?
No, I said to Mike Ryan, look, Mike Ryan had a dark weekend, okay? Mike Ryan was confident publicly.
Dark money weekend.
He was confident publicly, but privately, the morning all of this was happening, he was dying inside because he's like, what do you think's going to happen if there are 2 spots for 3 teams? It's Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami. He had all of the persecution complex. But one of the things he did, he pooled money to fly a plane over where it is, was it Grapevine, Texas, where the committee was meeting? And
That's a
also,
real place?
Didn't you put up billboards as well? Because I said, I wish we'd done that. And Mike Ryan said to me, I did do that.
Yeah, it was part
I
of the
did
group.
put money into that. And then someone else tried to take credit for it, right?
Yeah. Lifestyle Miami. God, we love them. They own the Chargers in Battle Court. More on that in a moment. But yeah, I was part of a group that did that because head-to-head should matter, and I'm glad that it did. Ultimately, it was ridiculous that it didn't matter for a month. But yeah, all this stuff, it's ridiculous that this stuff is decided in a literal back room with 12 old rich white guys, and they're super.
Condi.
No, not Condi anymore.
I saw one woman, though.
There is
There's a
one
woman
woman.
in there, yeah.
There is a woman. But they're impressionable. And I told you on Friday's show, people were going to wake up to a whole new world where everyone was all of a sudden going to start stating the obvious. And we had Kirk Herbstreit, we had Nick Saban, you had Urban Meyer, you had Greg McElroy, you had all these people saying head-to-head mattered. And I was really confident entering that Big Ten title game where Mark Ingram, a Heisman Trophy winner for Alabama, is even saying Alabama doesn't belong in here. And I got really worried by how that Alabama game developed because Alabama.
You think the Bama fans are mad?
Dan, Alabama is the first team in the CFP era to not slide whatsoever in the rankings after losing their conference championship game, and they got blown out. They had -3 rushing yards. Miami rushed for more yards on Saturday than Alabama did. BYU slides because they got beaten in a similar fashion, and that's the benefit that benefits Miami. But I can't for the life of me understand why Alabama didn't move down. Notre Dame should feel wrong because they are better than Alabama. They are better than Oklahoma. But the discourse nationally was always about Miami and Notre Dame, and Miami always had the head-to-head.
Did you hire the nightclub plane? Like I'm like on Miami Beach and I see the like at Live tonight or 11 or whatever. Did you literally get the same plane? Because that's what it looks like.
It was very expensive because that plane departed from Opelika.
H2H Matters Miami in feels like a threat, frankly. I mean, like when I say power, Dad, we're living in this time when politicians actively are leaving like their coalitions because they're afraid of the maniacs in their mentions who will send mail to their house and dox them. What Mike Ryan did in this billboard and that plane is basically say, we are going to spend money haunting you if you don't do what we want.
I do believe that Miami argued its way into this over the last month because it's true what Mike is saying, that all the voices were saying this except for Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway says that what just happened is very strange, and it is very strange. It's wrong, and it's going to end the bowl system as you know it. Look, you can't wrong Notre Dame like this and not have major change. One of the great things that I read is that Notre Dame now has it contractually guaranteed that if this happens to them next year again, they're automatically in writing, no matter what it is that they're doing with the system, because they have a contractual clause that if they'd had it this year, can you imagine if they had it this year? Can you imagine how crazy Miami would be if this had already happened last year and Notre Dame had a contractual clause that got them into a violent sports championship round with paperwork? And that's what Notre Dame has now. But when you have the athletic director, Pete Pavakwa, the wording he's using, he's calling it a farce. He's saying it's a shock. He's saying he's in utter disbelief. He's saying they feel like they were punched in the stomach. All of Notre Dame was watching that, waiting to see who they'd play. Notre Dame was sitting in front of the television assuming that this could not happen, that this was not something that was even possible. And I legitimately feel bad for them because they're right. The system is wrong and Notre Dame is right. Notre Dame is better than Oklahoma. Notre Dame is better than Alabama. Notre Dame is better than James Madison. What Notre Dame is not better than is Duke. I am serious when I say, if you told me before the year, here's a riddle. Manny Diaz is going to win an ACC championship before Mario Cristobal does, but Mario Cristobal is going to play for the actual championship that year while Manny Diaz doesn't. I wouldn't have known how to explain it to you. Like, I would not, having seen it happen, I would not have been able to answer the riddle, how does Manny Diaz go 7-5, win the ACC, but Mario Cristobal is the one who gets to play for the championship against Texas A&M. By the way, it probably goes without saying, that is by far Miami's toughest game this year. Texas A&M is, their next game is their most difficult game. I'm just glad I get to see them play another one. But Notre Dame's yanking its ball. You see what Notre Dame did? Notre Dame took away the money from the television networks, like took its ball and went home and said, we're not playing in a bowl game.
Yeah.
This is going to end the bowl system.
Oh, I like that take. By the way, so that's how Notre Dame does business, right? They do it like through official legal channels. They're getting rules and policy changes enacted. And Miami does this. They do whatever Mike Ryan's super PAC is doing. And the whole notion, by the way, of like the expansion of the playoff field, something that I just laugh about nationally is when this was announced, it was like, there's not going to be any of the drama because 12 teams is so many. Because, of course, like, who cares about numbers 10, 11, and 12? And here we are arguing, spending dark money because that's now not enough. 12 is not enough. We can expand this field as it happens in March Madness to 64 and still be mad about the 66th team. That is actively the magic of what the college sports system is, which is, by the way, yes, a giant bank that the people who put the most money in Notre Dame are now not understanding. I thought you wanted our money, and now you're not going to get our money. You're going to get Mike Ryan's money. Congratulations.
Amin, what do you have here?
I got a question for Mike. The sign said H2H matters, Miami in. Were they charging you by the character?
Great question.
It seems pretty obvious, yeah. There was another lieutenant in our Air Force that negotiated that deal. I just contributed to a pot.
So those 6 letters, major difference.
I mean, imagine, it's flying from Opelika. You got to cut corners where you can.
It's like the scene from the Three Amigos where it tried to send a telegram to the Three Amigos like it's cost too much. I'll give you the 10 peso version.
I know that because I'm a movie guy.
Do you know what the rejected ones were, Mike? Were there other options? Were you part of the decision-making process on what would it would say on the banner itself?
That was workshop in the group chat, but I just, Venmo'd somebody.
Okay, so H to H matters. Pablo's got this right when he says it did sound like a threat. It sounded a bit, it's from Miami. You know that Miami, generally resorts to thuggery. And I believe that was threatening. You have no.
It was only slightly less threatening than we know where you live. That's basically what the message is.
We did.
We are single R watching you, single U to save characters.
Yeah, we did know where they lived. But I think that what we saw over the last month, and I think Notre Dame is right to feel bad and feel duped by this TV show, which was...
That's the only thing they have the right to, is to feel duped.
Yeah,
That's it.
They should, but
duped.
I think the real injustice here was that the nation and Notre Dame was led to believe, maybe not for the first release, because Miami was not playing good football when they were ranked behind Notre Dame. Even I said, I understand this one, but if Miami gets it together, we got to right this wrong. And then 2 weeks in, I was like, this is absurd. That's the real injustice here, is that they were led to believe for so long that as it pertains
That's
to Miami,
the only injustice.
head-to-head didn't matter. They could have used 2 weeks to campaign against Oklahoma and Alabama, because I truly believe Notre Dame to be better than those teams. Notre Dame is deserving of a playoff spot. I've said that all along. They're just not more deserving than Miami.
I don't think so. I don't think they're more deserving than any of those teams you just mentioned right there. And the only thing Notre Dame can gripe about is that they were duped. That's it. Is that there were people going on television for 4 straight weeks telling you that Notre Dame is in, when the fact of the matter is they shouldn't have been in at that point.
Zaz, they were minus 3,000 on sportsbooks to get in up until that message came out.
You can't say all they have to be upset about is being duped. When have you been duped and not been upset? Like, that's the thing that they're upset about. When Bavakwa is saying that the television show for the last few weeks is a total waste of time, when he's calling this an absolute joke and a farce, there's no disputing of that. Oh, it is. They are absolutely right to feel wronged by this, because duped is you don't play football games to feel duped at the end.
You're right. They can feel wronged, but feel wronged because they got duped, not because they deserve to be in based on merit. They didn't deserve to be in based on merit. The only leg they have to stand on is, you said we were in, and then you told us we weren't. That's it. That's it.
No. I would say the other leg they have to stand on is they've got only 2 losses, while Alabama has 3, and they're two very good teams, and they're very close games, one of them on the road at Miami. Like, that's the leg that you stand on. Alabama's got 3 losses and isn't actually that good. We're better than Alabama. You're giving Alabama credit for a couple of 4th downs that they made against Vanderbilt.
I think the committee did the right thing when it comes to Alabama. First of all, Alabama was the number 1 seed in the SEC, and I cannot roll with the idea that if you lose your conference championship game, you wind up missing the playoffs. I can't roll with it.
Let me stop you guys here on this one, okay? This is what's disqualifying. Alabama lost to FSU. That should be disqualifying. FSU won 2 of its last 9 games. FSU has 5 wins this season, 1 against Kent and 1 against East Texas A&M, which is not something I knew existed before I looked it up. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know there was an East Texas A&M?
How many Texas A&Ms are there?
That's another good question. Put it on the poll as well. How many Texas A&Ms are there, yes or no? When I say to you they lost by 2 touchdowns against FSU, a 5-win team, it's a disqualifying loss. Like, they've got 2 others. They've got 3 losses, and that's more than Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's 2 losses are to 2 teams we would all say are top 10 teams.
But then
I just found a West Texas A&M.
They like their agriculture mechanics out there in Texas.
You were saying, Zaslow?
I just feel like you're then doing the thing where the losses wind up mattering more than the wins. And while FSU's loss to FSU is as bad a loss as there is in the nation, it turns out, in regards to the teams in the top 25, Alabama's wins to me mean a whole lot more. They have great wins on their schedule this year. The wins need to count more than the loss, no?
The way they lost in the championship game, to me, should be something that makes them not be allowed to play any more games this season. Just stop there. The way you lost that game to Georgia, a team you already beat, okay? A team you already beat this season, and you usually do beat. You're the only ones who have beaten Georgia the last few years. And that the way that game went, I don't want to watch that as a playoff team.
To Dan's point, it's absurd that this team did not slide. I don't know what they did to be ranked ahead of Notre Dame in Tuesday's rankings. Yurachek was saying that they over 5-7 Auburn, they went for a couple 4th downs, and the committee was really impressed by that. You have 0 precedent for a team losing, especially that badly in their conference title game, and not moving. They were slotted. They were telling us at the committee the big debate wasn't Miami Notre Dame all season long. It was Alabama Notre Dame. I don't know, even though Notre Dame is idle, I don't know how Alabama doesn't fall a spot. And then maybe Miami
Well, it's
doesn't.
because
even get
falling
in.
a spot means they don't get into the playoff.
My whole concern was that they were just going to use Alabama as this BS buffer team because they introduced this season the notion of direct side-by-side comparison as to where head-to-head only matters.
Although that's not what they were telling us for the last month, right?
No, it was absurd. I understand why Notre Dame fans are pissed. To their credit, no one's really saying Notre Dame should get in over Miami. Even Shane Gillis was like, I was kind of privately hoping that they would just screw Miami and we'd get in. They knew they didn't have a winning hand there. It just sucks that they didn't have the ample time to mobilize and campaign against the likes of Alabama and Oklahoma, Pablo.
So the key part of any debate, if you actually want to resolve the debate with an agreed upon winner, is to define the terms of the debate. And the committee just never actually consistently defines them, which is why on the back end you can have endless and understandable feeling of dupedness. Everybody feels on some level like they got scammed. Even people who got in are like, wait a minute, why are we matched up? Why are we doing 2 rematches, by the way, of regular season games that we've already seen? The thing that I'm curious about when it comes to how Miami feels, though, is do you guys want the system to change? What would you actually do differently? Because politically and economically, the reason I laugh about the planes and all of Mike Ryan's dark money is because there is no actual pressure for any reform. The games are going to be incredible, and self-evidently, right? College football, the number 2 most popular sport in the country.
But when Notre Dame says this in this voice, there is now pressure for reform. This will cause that pressure.
Well, but that's an open question to me because they are alone and they are historically singular when it comes to having individually measured economic pressure because they're not in a conference. But other than that, everyone's going to watch the games. And from a big picture perspective, are people going to actually agitate for revolt? Is that it just feels like this exercise that happens not by design, because that's giving them too much credit, but it just happens because, of course, it's going to happen this way. And so does Miami want anything to change next year? Is there actual, suggestion on how to make the system different?
The system remains stupid. Notre Dame is being so petty about its reaction to this that they're denying themselves $4 million, and they're denying their players another game that they may have wanted. There are seniors there who might have thought that they did not play their last game and now do not get the bowl experience, and they're doing that strictly to punish the television networks, the partners, and to allow their dismay to be shown.
To be measured.
Yes, to be measured. $4 million is not a small amount of money for Notre Dame. I mean, maybe it is for Notre Dame. It's not a small amount of money to give up on a principle. But lest you think that Mike Ryan is sane, okay, because you talk about his dark money funding of propaganda that did indeed argue Miami into the final games. This is the text I got at the beginning of that morning. I don't see any light. 2 spots, 3 programs. Guess which one they're going to bleep? December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. That is the last text I received from Mike Ryan. Mike, take me through your darkness and how it is you're crawling around nude on your bathroom floor and then collapsed in the fetal position around the toilet before the committee saved you.
Saturday was going according to plan, and the one thing that I couldn't account for was Alabama being defeated that soundly for Miami to have more rushing yards than Alabama on Saturday. I didn't account for that, and then I started getting really worried because the committee had already established if you lose your conference title game, there's always going to be some sort of punitive measure, and this is the first time that they decided no in what was probably the most lopsided example in conference title history. Yeah, there's a persecution complex, but I think it's deserved when it comes to Miami fans. They had normalized the most ridiculous thing for a month. I do want to give credit to the Notre Dame fans because they kind of know that they didn't really have a hand there when it came to Miami. And I understand why they're pulling the rug out from anybody that was excited to watch a Pop-Tart Bowl and say Notre Dame's not going to compete in this. I didn't want to compete in that joke of a bowl game where they make you a punchline. But I do also...
I went last year. That game's fun. How dare you?
I think for Notre Dame specifically, that decision, there's probably more to it than just hurt feelings. I think a lot of players are going to opt out because it's not important. And if you look at the schools that have opted out of bowl games, you have Kansas State and Iowa State, teams that have change at the head coaching position. And I happen to know like that is a possibility here with Marcus Freeman.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He happens to know?
Happen to know?
Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
Watch out for the New York Giants here. I think now that Marcus Freeman's season is over early, he generated a lot of interest last year, but Notre Dame kept pushing on and had a shot at a national title. Now that they are not in this college football playoff picture, his name, as Adam Schefter already alluded to, is going to be the hottest in New York circles. There's some Notre Dame ties there with the New York Giants, and I don't think we can discount that as looming over this entire opting out of the bowl game thing.
How does that wind up looking, Mike, if Marcus Freeman, if you're right, he does wind up taking the Giants job, but they opted out of playing a bowl game, and now he's available to go talk to, like, that winds up looking kind of shady, though.
I think there's going to be a lot of evidence that you can piece together if Marcus Freeman does move on. I know he loves Notre Dame. He's not just going to leave for any job. He's not just going to leave for any NFL job. And he probably wouldn't entertain it if they were positioned for a deep run in the college football playoff. But my man was in New York last week. And while I haven't been able to confirm this through multiple sources, I have it on good authority that there have been conversations from the New York Giants to Marcus Freeman surrounding that head coaching job, and it wouldn't surprise me that the specter of him leaving is also one of the deciding factors here than just we got screwed and we got left out, so we're taking our ball and going home.
You know about that specter?
I'm getting to it.
Dan, to piggyback off of Mike Ryan's Notre Dame topic, can you go back really quick and talk about the contract that Notre Dame signed that says basically, hey, we're in the playoff anytime there's some sort of situation like that? Like, how do they get to do that?
I couldn't believe it when I read it. I was confused by it, and I want more details. I haven't done any reporting on it beyond that. I just know that if they're in the top 12 next year, they're guaranteed a spot no matter what the committee is talking about. I don't know how it is that they ended up getting that contract clause. It's a good question that you're asking. I would assume that a lot of people would want that clause.
I'm on it. I do have an update though when it comes to where Marcus Freeman is going. I have just found out that there is a Texas A&M University at Qatar.
Qatar, that's a fun.
It's a real fact, by the way. That's an actual thing.
How many Texas A&Ms are there? Have you gotten the answer to how many Texas A&Ms there are?
I'm still scrolling.
Can I explain to people just very briefly what kind of insane space Mike has been occupying recently when he spits at you in the matter of a few minutes? Even Shane Gillis says,
I was going to comment on that. Like, this is how the sausage is made, actually. It's on Instagram.
Even Mark Ingram and Shane Gillis say he's just looking for allies wherever it is that he can find them anywhere in the world. Even Shane Gillis said, Zaz, I don't think you get to celebrate Inter Miami's championship. You declared dumbly that you were out on Inter Miami as soon as Luis Suarez spat on a Seattle staffer.
Okay, it's not like I decided to get out for no reason whatsoever. I didn't like the way Inter Miami handled everything. I don't necessarily like what the team stands for. I will tell you, it's not like
they stand for a championship.
They stand for being unlikable. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I didn't want them to win. I did want them to win. I was glad that they won. I'm not rooting against them. It's not like I have another favorite team, but like I don't have the joy or like I don't feel it the way that I would have hoped that I would feel when Inter Miami won a championship.
Roy, do you have the access back there to the Kentucky Fried Chickens? I can't access that here in New York. No, you're being honest about that, but the thing you're not being honest about is you said you were going to watch the game. You're going to watch Inter Miami before the SEC championship game.
I saw the last 3 minutes. I did. I watched the last 3 minutes on my phone, Dan.
Yo, chicken time.
You're fried! It's okay. I wasn't watching either. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Neither of them are credit to the boss. I didn't know they won. The Moss family that he called for them. That's all right. That he called frauds at one point. They play in Port St. Lucie. Huge weekend for the Moss family. To see that
Let's examine that one for a second because Mike is right. Not just for the Moss family, for David Beckham. Those owners were really emotional. They accomplished something in Miami that was really hard to do and has an assortment of obstacles in Miami that you're not going to get in other places in the United States just because Miami is so incredibly weird about how it supports anything with dollars. And Jorge Mas, I was introduced to him basically when he was sitting next to Jeffrey Loria, pretending that he had the money to buy the Marlins when he didn't have the kind of money that you needed to buy the Marlins. But it's how he got into the game, and now he is going to be somebody who is one of the more successful real estate people that we have in Miami because he's got this giant stadium coming in and got the best player in the world, and now got a championship. Like, you really do have to celebrate what this ownership group has done. I wonder, Pablo, if you believe the comp, or if you can help me with a comp on when you go out and get the singularly best soccer player to ever play, and you put him in a league that has a lot of soccer players who are not as good as him, should Miami feel about this championship the way that, say, a city in Taiwan would feel if LeBron James at 36 or 37 years old decided to go over there and play against a bunch of Taiwanese basketball players because you went and got the best player in the world. He's clearly better than everyone he's playing against. He set a record for assists in a playoff series. The fact that they lost to Atlanta in the first round last year is one of the greatest upsets in the history of the sport. But what would be a comp on what Miami did in just getting the greatest ringer you can possibly get and then ho-hum winning the championship, because that's what you're supposed to do when you get the greatest ringer you can ever get?
Yeah, I don't think the championship is the standard. I thought this entire deal, even based on how the contract, as you guys had reported, I think before anybody, was structured, was this is going to be a thing tied to viewership. Like, this is a deliberately popular product that will be measured through ratings. So the idea of, like, yes, Leo Messi won the title, the championship. The reason I am, like, waking up today and shrugging is because, A, Dan, you're right. Like, of course, it's Leo Messi, even though that was not guaranteed as recently as last season. The real question is,
as recently as the 71st minute of that game, it wasn't guaranteed.
But the question then becomes, like, all of this was structured to be this segue towards the World Cup also coming to America. America finally embracing this sport in a way that was going to be different with Leo Messi as this giant lever. And so to me, it's not even about, like, how does Jorge Mas, who has a great, perfect, rich guy Miami name, how much does this do for the sport in general? And Mike, I don't know what the latest data is on that, but that's, to me, the actual standard of success.
I think that's a fair standard to apply here. I will say, in terms of on the field, they've knocked it out the park. Even off the field, this is a club that almost died before it ever got off the ground. David Beckham almost left this project numerous times. Jorge Mas was a lifeline as other ownership groups fell apart. And then in a big press conference, they made a lot of promises. Messi was one of the faces featured in this video. The hope, the promise that maybe this is a town that Messi could one day play in. Not only did they get Messi, they got Messi at a high level while he's still one of the best soccer players on the planet. He just had, in 49 appearances, he had the greatest MLS season ever. He appeared in 49 matches. He scored 43 goals. He had 26 assists. And now he got the trophy that everyone that was a casual sports fan said, well, isn't that the one that matters? Even though they afford 3 different trophies in this league, isn't MLS Cup the one that matters? And I know you made the Taiwan comparison. Like, he's playing opposite of Thomas Mueller on the other side. The competition's a little bit better. I understand in the eyes of the world, MLS is, not even mid-tier, a lower-tier professional league, but this is still really impressive. They were really good athletes.
I mean, help me with this then, because I just chose Taiwan for no particular reason. I was stumbling around with whatever the comparison should or would be on Miami getting the greatest ringer in the world and putting him in a league where the players are not what he is.
First of all, you guys are not going to disrespect the Taipei Kings. That is a class organization. They run a good program over there. We're not going to use them as a punching bag. But, I don't I think it bears noting other MLS stars that came over from Europe were way, way further down the line. They squeezed pretty much the last of the toothpaste out of the tube. And Messi came here relatively younger compared to those other ones. And, Mike said it's a lower tier level of competition. I mean, it is. Even when you name a Thomas Mueller, but really what we're talking about competition, we're not talking about the high end. We're talking about across the board with 22 men on the field. How many of them stack up?
Yeah, but I mean, if you were watching that game, they were running circles around Miami. Miami did not have the pace.
I saw
to
last
keep
3
up.
minutes
to keep up there. This is a Vancouver Whitecaps team.
Vancouver controlled all the possession in that game.
In the second half, Miami had to be super efficient with their opportunities. They did not have the legs to keep up. The athletic advantage was with Vancouver, not with Miami in that game. It's a really difficult season. They play a lot of games. He's got old legs. He was super efficient with his opportunities there. I don't want to diminish it. They beat a team that had played them off the pitch in 2 previous meetings. This is huge for Inter Miami. This is huge for the Moss family because they had a whole bunch of bluster and they followed through on everything else. I do agree with Pablo that I thought the metric for success here was growing the game. And if you look at even attendance, which was something that MLS would always hang its hat on, that took a hit. The TV ratings, forget about it. The sport is less viewed now than when it was before Messi got to that league. So I think that is a fair standard to uphold. But in terms of on the pitch, getting the stadium, getting the best player, playing the best football, the Moss family delivered there. The rest seems to be an MLS problem.
How have we gone 30 minutes and not talked about the Cyclones?
Oh, all right. Hang on a second. Hold on.
We haven't talked about the Dolphins. We haven't talked about the Dolphins.
We're going in order of importance here, Dan.
Championships, Dan. Championships. Since the Cyclones won the championship, I don't know if you paid attention when you're out there.
Well, they're on their way to playing.
They have not won it yet.
Well, no, it's in the books. I guarantee.
We
you.
punched our ticket. We punched our ticket. We punched our ticket to Magic City Casino Friday, first toss, 7 p.m. It better be a madhouse at the Magic City Fronton. Everybody from Clone Cartel better be out there as we take on the Devils. The ownership group from the Devils and the ownership group from the Cyclones, they were in the very first Battle Court final. And now we come full circle in the last Battle Court match ever played at Magic City Casino as we are moving locations next season.
Whoa.
All right?
What do you
How
like
many
during the
Magic
game?
cities are there? How many Magic cities are there? Are we different?
Different Magic
Yeah,
City.
the different Magic City.
Not
Both
that
have wings.
Yeah.
But that's where the comparisons stop. But yes, the Cyclones are playing. They did not play a good game. We almost went to a tiebreaker. And then Barba had to come in as an injury replacement in the final match, effectively securing our spot there. And I had to give Ray Lewis a handshake and say, hey, get him next time, Tiger, as we move forward in what was essentially akin to the NBA bubble, closed to the public, just the VIPs there for this match. But on Friday, all bets are off, open to the public. We better hear you. We better feel you.
Ray Lewis went out there again. He goes out there quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he owns the Warriors.
Yeah, but I'm surprised how often he's out there because he's nasty when the competition starts. Like he's not fooling around.
I don't think he liked us clapping, and we kind of looked at each other, said, "Now that Barba's in there, let's just keep it cool," because Ray has a history.
Zaslow, how did you feel about watching Tua on Sunday?
Unwatchable, Dan.
What?
I can't. I can't believe how low IQ a player he's become. He's brutal to watch. He's so bad. And you know what? It's shown us that Mike McDaniel might actually be a decent coach because he knows he can't rely on Tua, so he does what he's good at, and that's run the football. He's a great running coach.
That schedule the rest of the way is pretty tough for Miami. Have you seen who it is that they've got coming up next? It's Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Tampa, New England. That's not.
Are they get 3-1?
It's not going to go. That's not going to go well throwing behind the line of scrimmage with no A-chan.
Maybe the running back should turn to him.
Some Shakespeare is done by the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. We've stolen the exclamation point officially from Get Up. It's put after the word show.
So this is Act 1, Scene 2 of Macbeth. The stage instructions are: a camp near Fours. Alarm within. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
I don't even know what that means.
Jessica, you will play the role.
All right, so wait, can we set the scene? Thank you, Mike. Can we set the scene, Mike, from high school? Can you give Chris Cody his motivation on, because he didn't even understand what Whittingham.
Am I happy?
Like, what,
Am I
Sergeant is
distressed?
bleeding.
What,
Okay.
In what
You're
condition does the distressed? Okay, very good. Good confidence there. Let's have the music that we need, Shakespearean music, and let's see if we can find our note here.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil, as thou didst leave it.
So true.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that. The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and Gallowes glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrel smiling. Showed like a rebel's whore. Showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution.
What?
Yes.
Like Valuor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave.
I feel your distress. I really do.
Which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he uniseamed him from the nave
Rolling.
Don't let them deter you.
to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun's gins his reflection.
Missed your cue.
Shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring whence comfort seemed to come.
Wait a minute. There wasn't a question mark there.
Discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed.
Oh, you think you're done?
Humbled these
Compelled.
these skipping kerns to trust their heels.
Not compelled. We need
But the
compelling.
Norwegian lord surveying vantage,
Which is it?
furbished arms,
Vintage advantage.
and new supplies of men.
All right, we've
Begin a fresh assault.
tested his
Hey,
endurance.
not this! Our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
And scene.
You almost made it to the finish line. You started leaking confidence. It was not unlike the race outside in Freedom. You were very confident for a moment, and then you fell at the finish line. But
Showed his long track.
Excellent, Chris. Excellent.
Vintage vantage.
Long white crap.
Coppled? Compelled.
Billy Does Barbados Carnival.
So welcome back, Billy, and I don't know where this particular tension is going to end up. Welcome back. And I also want to get to Mike Ryan. He does not agree with you on Hard Knocks, Chris. He doesn't.
Oh, trust me. We had a whole text exchange last night. I almost drove to his house to fight him.
Yeah, you guys have very wildly disparate opinions on the Oakland Raiders and Hard Knocks. But first, Billy, welcome back. How was your honeymoon?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, he's tightened up his game now that he's refreshed. Okay, things are
it's
just
so hot today, Dan. I don't know what's going on with the air, but luckily I have this little fan that I bought before a hurricane that I have plugged into my phone, so like it's keeping me nice and cool.
I'm so jealous.
You guys should get these. These things are awesome. Look at it, Dan. You see this thing? Look at this.
Can you please tell me about all the awkward things that happened to you? Did anything weird happen to you in Barbados? Like, what kind of, just give me some awkward Billy on his honeymoon stuff. Is there anything that...
The non-awkward would be a much shorter story.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to go. What's the best you got from your honeymoon? And then we'll move on to other things like Antonio trying to steal your job.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
Antonio, just go sit in his chair. We'll get back to it.
I'm back, baby.
I want to hear the whole story. I just don't understand why you can't even get the name right of Carnival and like
it's Crop Over. That's fine.
Why is it called a honeymoon?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Put it on the poll, Antonio, now that you've replaced Billy in his chair. Do you know why they call it a honeymoon? Mike, do you have the sound? A very simple sound, a very simple question. Basically, I want you to hear Billy, who has a reputation for yammering and just not being able to get anything out, and he's rusty because he hasn't been paying attention to the internet for 10 days. So he came in here today, and it was just a furnace blast of news, all of it weird, disorienting. The local hour has gone someplace else.
We showed him Antonio Brown's feet.
Yeah, like he's missed a lot. I'm actually scared when I disappear for my honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I feel like things are just going to be gone. There's the possibility like the shipping container room just floated off into the Atlantic Ocean.
We're still not out of hurricane season.
Yeah, I am going to fall it's very easy to fall very far behind, very fast when it comes to the amount of stimulation and news and sports stuff that you are getting. Billy was off the grid. He comes back. Everything's changed except his inability to say anything quickly. So
it's white now.
Everything is different. Like you
That's the most efficient you've ever been.
Yes. Look at that. Did you learn something on your honeymoon? Okay, so lest you think he has cured his ills of not being efficient, please play for the audience. This is Billy Rusty returning from his honeymoon. Just him simply trying to say where he was.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's
for the love of
story.
God. All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it. Whoa! You would have kept going. You would have given it 20 names if I didn't cut you off and kick you out. You would have given it 20 names. Actually, the roots of the word come from the 1700s and indigenous people.
I was upset you did that to Billy his first day back, but hearing it back, he absolutely deserved it.
Again, yes. I want you to hear again, just Mike, the last part of it, where he's simply trying to say, Billy is simply I descend from exiles who lived on an island. I cannot tell you how much I hate the cold, but I am made to feel warmer by my New York friends arriving in mass to support what it is that we're doing around here as I get a scarf I never wear tangled in my headphones.
That was embarrassing what happened
I
between
don't know how to wear a
segments.
scarf exactly. Hank Azaria is here, and before we get to Hank and his many voices and his many Emmy award-winning talent, I just want to play Michael Irvin's reaction to the University of Miami getting into the college football playoff.
I told y'all I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. He answered yesterday with the game. I'm leaving the Potter's house right now. While I was getting the last bit word from the Lord, my phone just started saying, God said I ain't gonna even wait that long. Before I got out of church, it was bling, 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 and they all started coming in because we got in. Yes, sir, buddy, we got in. I'm heading home now. I'm gonna get in the locker room, and we gotta talk about this right here. I'm telling y'all, I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered, and he delivered.
Amen.
It's about how I thought that would sound. Hank, it is delightful to see you. You are usually very tired after you've done Comic-Con.
True.
What has that experience been? Tell me, how many of these have you done? What does that look like? Why do you go? Who do you go as?
I go as myself. It's an amazing thing at Comic-Con. I go really because they pay a lot of money, and I have a foundation, and it's a really sweet way to raise money for charity, and you meet fans, and you lay out a table. I have like 30 different whatever you want to have signed, like all Simpsons characters or whatever, Brackmeyer, whatever it is, it's there.
What's the most popular? What do most
Simpsons
people?
things are the most popular.
You've done 150 voices on The Simpsons. Is that an accurate number?
That is a probable. I used to say I don't think it's accurate, but I actually do think it is accurate. Yeah.
You didn't have any voice experience, did you, before that?
Well, a lot, just growing up being a moron. Yeah. Tons, actually.
But you didn't have any professional voice experience.
I had
before
done one thing. I had done a voice at the time Roger Rabbit was popular, way back when. And Fox, in the early days of themselves, wanted to do a pilot that was similar. It was an animated dog called Hollywood Dog, and everybody else was real. And I was the voice of Hollywood Dog. That was my first voiceover gig. And then they knew me the pilot didn't go anywhere, but they knew me from that. So then I auditioned for The Simpsons.
Wait,
and Mo was the first voice I did there.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on Hollywood Dog. So I'm finding out that there was a reverse Who Framed Roger Rabbit premise.
I know it was not reverse. Roger Rabbit was animated, and then everybody else was. Although there were a lot of other cartoon characters, because they had this dog that was animated running around Hollywood, and everybody else was real, and I was the voice of the dog.
Has anyone ever requested? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Hollywood Dog at Comic-Con?
Hollywood Dog? No. Well, somebody once handed me some art from it to sign. I don't know if it was at Comic-Con or not, but. People will find whatever there is and hand it to you to sign.
Where did you think the voices were going to go when you did? You said you did Mo. The Mo was the first voice you did on The Simpsons.
Yeah, Mo was. I love Al Pacino, young Al. You know, Godfather Al, Dog Day Afternoon Al.
The best Al.
I'm dying here. Everybody's coming down on me here. That Al. So I was doing a play in Hollywood at the time. I was playing a drug dealer, and I was using my Pacino voice. And I got the audition for this cartoon show. So I did this voice there. And they said, make it gravelly. So to me, gravelly was Bruce Springsteen. So, fun fact, halfway between Bruce Springsteen and young Al Pacino, you got Mo the Bartender. There's a mid-range in there.
I want to talk football with some of Hank's characters. I was trying to get together with him yesterday to watch some football, and all he was insistent upon is, I've got to watch the Jets, and I've got to watch the Jets. And I'm like, why do you want? Why do we have to watch the Jets? It's 15 straight seasons without making the playoffs. Why do we want to and have to watch the Jets?
You like an actual answer?
Yes.
Like, I'm a Jet fan. I can't help it. Believe me, I've tried to rehabilitate. I can't stop. And what Jet fans know is that very early on in the season, you are going to switch from rooting for the team to win to analyzing exactly how it's gone horrible, which is fascinating in its own way. And then you complained about that. And so, you're really up to the minute on how it's gone wrong.
Aaron Glenn, you're not a supporter. I can't imagine that you're a supporter.
Jury's still out, I suppose. I mean,
is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. They've won. They're 3-3 in their last 6 games. Maybe he can.
You were transitioning slightly there into like a corrupt Southern defense attorney as you were thinking about how to spin Aaron Glenn's tenure. I detected a vowel being elongated there.
The voice went a little higher. Aaron Glenn, the jury's still out. I mean, it doesn't look great, but they're going to give him another year, I'm sure. So let's see. Who knows?
I want to analyze some of the games yesterday with some of your characters.
Let's do it.
How did Mo the bartender feel about Bills Bengals?
Yeah, I hate them Bills. Them peoples is annoying.
Josh Allen's pretty good though. Josh Allen's
yeah, that's
pretty
part
fun
of
to
what's
watch.
so annoying. He's like Superman running around, and if he doesn't throw it, he runs it. Then he flew one time. Did you see him fly? He flew once.
They were down 14-3, and twice he converted 4th and 4s on plays that were just pulled right out of his ass.
Impossibly annoying, and the fact that he was drafted. I don't know. He wasn't that year when it was all drafted, and now you get this guy. He would just throw it as hard as he could every time. He couldn't hit, as we used to say, the side of a barn. And now he's the best guy out there. But the Bills will find a way to lose. That's what you can always take comfort in there.
That's not true. They won yesterday, though.
I mean, ultimately, they'll find a way to
ultimately,
lose.
okay.
Yeah, in the end.
What does Chief Wiggum have any thoughts on Jacksonville beating up the Colts and Daniel Jones leaving with an injury to the leg that wasn't fractured? The femur that wasn't, to the Achilles that wasn't attached to the femur that's fractured?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of sympathy for impaired people. I'm technically, ever since I can't fit into the largest size of the police uniform that they make. So I could go on disability if I so chose.
From being fat?
Yeah, from being. Well, we don't say fat, Dan. We say waistline challenged in police ranks. So I have a lot of sympathy for anyone who's got those kind of challenges, and I don't really care about football per se, but at stadiums cops get a lot of free food, which is why I go to the games.
Concessions are what you're big on.
I'm at every game, but I've never actually seen any of the game.
I do like the idea, though, of Police Chief Wiggum having to call Daniel Jones's injury over the police walkie-talkie.
Well, let's try that. We have a man who seems to have hurt himself, and now it's not me this time. It's a guy. He runs around in very, very tight pants, which I do too, but his are tight for a different reason. And he seems to have hurt his lower, what do you call the lower part, the lower region? There's a right and a left. Yeah, the leg, right, the leg. He seems to have hurt his leg.
I think he tore his Achilles, didn't he? Daniel Jones, did he tear his, is that, I don't know.
That's Greek mythology. I don't know anything about that.
When you came in here, Pablo was talking to you, and this seems impossible to me, that you are now actually a frontman for a band. I don't know how your wife feels about the endeavors that you partake in, because you do so obsessively when you do them. Hank is now performing. I haven't seen it yet.
It's incredible.
Have you seen it? Like, he performs as Bruce Springsteen in a Bruce Springsteen cover band, and I suspect he sounds a great deal like Bruce Springsteen, because he can mimic voices, but this has now become an undertaking that's been an obsession, correct? It's become unhealthy for you and your family.
You put a lot, and there's a lot to respond to in there. Put me on the clock. I need like 8 minutes. To be honest, my wife was sort of traumatized by it at first, which surprised me. I guess she spent a lot of her 20s dating guys in rock bands and didn't have the greatest experiences. And it was like, I can't believe you're going to do this now too. And due to Springsteen, I keep hitting the mic. Good Lord.
You're an amateur. It's like you've never been around a microphone before.
I'm like a kitten with a toy with the mic. I imitate Bruce. I've been talking like Bruce since I was a teenager, since like hero worship.
Same as Al Pacino, and they all grew out of hero worship.
Bruce was no exception. But singing like Bruce is a whole different thing. That takes actual effort and attention and music and singing lessons and tremendous amount of. But I really love it. I am obsessed with that. It's like a kitten with a toy.
Well, where does it rank, though, with career joys? Because at this point, that Simpsons money is pretty good. You don't have to be doing anything. And
I want to make this clear. Hank seems insanely rich, and he's doing this clearly just because he has like some side quest check boxes
but he's
that he
touring.
wants to.
Like it's not a small thing. It's not a small thing he's doing late in life.
Yeah, no,
He has chosen to run a band that tours.
To go on stage with the possibility of it not going well. Like you're opting into like a high stakes thing regularly.
That was scary at first. I did it at my birthday on a lark, just to have fun. And I've told Pablo all this. It was like a reverse surprise party. I turned 60 and thought it'd be fun to tell my friends who are all Springsteen fans, oh, I got a great cover band coming. Didn't tell them I had been working for months to front it. And it went so well. And we raised some money for charity that night and thought to keep doing it. And then I have gotten obsessed with it. I mean, I love Springsteen to an obsessive level. And it wasn't even on my bingo card like I could do that. And tribute bands are real things. I'm not like impersonating Bruce. I sound like him. I tell stories about myself and Bruce in the idiom of Bruce, the poetry, spoken word of Bruce. And we try to sound as exactly like the E Street Band.
But what does you obsessed look like when I say Kate must be going a little bit crazy with your pouring yourself into projects that aren't your family?
Well, I was telling you guys before we hit the air that, she understands, there can't be a lot of groupies, but also not zero groupies. That's not fair. Can't be too much drugs, but not no drugs. No, Bruce doesn't do those things. But there have been certain, like at first, it was no screaming like Bruce in the house before 7 a.m. because I would rehearse obsessively. And now I have to run concert dates by her and my chief of staff, Lauren. Everybody has to sign off first before I blunder into, Wichita to do a gig.
But is this taking up the majority of your professional time or interests, passions these days? You have a couple of different projects that major media entertainment centers make it very difficult for viewers and listeners to find.
Yeah. I only like to do things that are like, you really got to search to find these things. Yeah, it's mostly what I spend time doing, but I don't spend all that much time at. We play like twice a month, and I don't I don't go out on tour for 4 months or something. I might eventually when my son's in college, maybe, but I do spend the most of my time doing that. But Pablo's right. I'm the luckiest man literally luckiest man, maybe not even in show business, maybe in the world. And The Simpsons doesn't end, and so I can just do things like this.
What's it like for Bruce Springsteen to open yet another Simpsons residual check?
We're in the money.
Yeah.
Hey, Patty, look at this. Look at the zeros. Look at the zeros. I want your little smiley faces in them.
I was very excited to see that Brockmire is finally on Netflix. This passion project of yours, and that you've allowed us to go on a glorious ride with this character.
Yes, you have.
This character that was, I think, Pablo, you probably talked to Hank about this on Pablo Torre Finds Out, but the Brockmire project of him falling in love with old-timey baseball radio announcers and then deciding to make one debaucherous and lecherous and addicted to things. Finally, this is going to get an opportunity because it was on Hulu, but for some reason it felt like Hulu didn't have quite the reach that Netflix does now, and this seems like a real cool opportunity for the Brockmire franchise that you birthed out of nothing, really.
Oh, it is. And look, never mind Michael Irvin praying for Miami. I don't know who prayed for Brockmire to actually get on Netflix and be seen, but I want to thank him. And no, it was, it's actually interesting and sort of current to today. When we made our Brockmire deal, which we were lucky to make with IFC, which is an AMC company. Not to get too inside baseball here, but we were lucky enough to get a deal. At the time, they had their deal with Netflix when we signed on, which was 120 million subscribers at the time, and it's how Portlandia became a hit because people would actually watch it on Netflix. By the time we aired, they had switched their deal to Hulu, and IFC and AMC decided we're gonna make our last stand as a cable TV channel. We're going to only release it once a week on our IFC channel, which I don't know. Nobody saw it. And I literally went in and begged them weekly, like, please, it's a good show. We might even get some nominations. Can you please let people see it? And we just went down with that cable channel ship. And then ever since then, it's kind of been buried on Hulu. And I didn't even know. My social media lady called me and said, you're getting released on Netflix this week. I'm like, I am? Christmas came early for me.
So Buried on Hulu, though, like, how does this work? Explain to me. This is something that you did. Brockmire was made guerrilla style in how many weeks? Like, each season took how many weeks to make because you had to do it on such a small budget?
The first one, we made 8 episodes in like 3 weeks. And then we got
That's crazy.
It was absolutely insane. I've never worked like that. The first season, I only memorized because we had all 8 written ahead of time because we had to, like financially, we had to have it completely down to a science what locations we were going to be at. There was no margin for error. And I only had memorized like 2/3 of it. And man, did I pay for that. I had to spend every waking hour on the weekends memorizing what I didn't know. Then we made sure to write them so that I had them 2-3 months ahead of time. I can't tell you how insane this is in the television world. Nobody does this. So that I could spend 3 months memorizing it like a 120-page play. Like I knew the entire season was in my head so that whatever we shot that day, I was ready with it. And I think by the end, they like took pity on us and we had like 5 weeks to shoot 8 episodes.
Because it was the passion project that was, you hadn't done anything quite like that, right? Would there ever been anything close to what all of that was?
I had produced a couple of things that I started in a show called Huff on Showtime like 20 years ago. That was a lot of work, but I didn't create that. I didn't, help write that. And I genuinely produced it and starred in it. That was a lot of work too. But this was, I guess I don't really do things halfway. This Bruce thing has sort of it's one of the fun things about it for me is to do something for myself that normally big corporations pay me for. And it was nice at age 60 to sort of, it felt like a gift I was giving myself. But that's how I have fun.
How does this work, though? Like, is there such a thing of something great? Brockmire's great. Feeling sort of undiscovered, and then you get on Netflix and it has a rebirth. Like, is there a chance that now what happens with this is that the reach people discover comedy's not being done as well? I know that the studio got all sorts of popularity, but it just seems over the last 10 years, comedy's being done less well everywhere, is being tried less often elsewhere. Brockmire is really funny. Is there the possibility that Netflix allows it to have a rebirth?
Maybe if Michael Irvin prays for it.
But what are the stories? What are the history of Netflix having something and then making it bigger than it was before?
I don't know that I've heard of it. I know that I've been at this 40 years, Samad. I know that things either stand the test of time or they don't. I don't know how that translates into dollars and cents, but people look back and, what was it? The year that Dances with Wolves, which is a very fine movie, but it beat out Goodfellas for Best Picture, whatever. You're like, no, that wasn't right. So I'm not sure if it'll, pop. It'll break into Netflix's top 10 and become like a viral hit again. But I imagine more people will discover it. And as you say, it is really good. So I'm just glad that people will get to see it.
You have another project that you're here to promote that is also hard to find.
Actually harder, which I didn't think was possible.
I don't even know about this project. That's how hard it is apparently to find.
This is actually really good. It's a very, very, it's a dark comedy called The Artist, set in the Gilded Age, starring Mandy Patinkin, Janet McTeer. I'm in it. I played Thomas Edison in it, oddly. Also not on my bingo card.
How do you work up the Thomas Edison voice?
It's funny you ask, Pablo. I was reading it out loud. I'm like, my voice does not have enough gravitas, especially because he's sort of the straight man in this. It's a very sicko. It's set in the Gilded Age, and they use the C word like every page. Thomas Edison doesn't say it, but I reacted to it quite a lot. And it just didn't seem right as my voice. It's too modern. I don't know. And so I came up, I was like, it needs to be deeper and it needs to be more erudite and have weight. And it's Superintendent Chalmers is what it is.
I was going to say, I didn't want to out Thomas Edison.
He doesn't sound like Thomas Edison, a great inventor. He sounds like a superintendent.
He's Superintendent Chalmers, but apparently Gary Chalmers always wanted to be a great inventor, and he admires Edison very much, so I cast him.
Just as a matter of clarification, I'm finding out also that in the Gilded Age, they use the C word a lot.
In this version, they did. It's really good. And then you have to go on your computer, and it's thenetwork.stream. Thenetwork.stream.
I feel like I'm about to illegally
Hank, you're at the
stream
top
a football game.
Hank, you're at the top of your game. Why is it that I and young people would have trouble finding in the age of streaming what your passion projects are?
This was not. I was a hired gun on this. I had the same reaction you did. I'm like, what is this? And then I read the script. I'm like, this is good. And then I saw another show this guy, Aaron Rappaport, did with John Leguizamo. I'm like, that's really good. So I'm like, okay, he seems to know what he's doing. And it came out really good. It's just that I don't know what the deal with this little streaming service is. But I imagine they're hoping to punch through. It's what we were talking about before on the air, that there's many ways to skin this cat now.
Well, you are that way. I mean, what I'm now
basically
on.
go through me. Yeah.
Yes, I am now on the network.stream, and I'm realizing that, yes, you use your actors, you use Hank Azaria and all of the people inside of Hank Azaria to make people aware. I mean, by the way, as much as we are the last people on earth who should be making fun of like some independent thing. Like literally, that's the premise of what this studio is in New York. Is like, hey, can this be plausibly a place where real people show up and consider it also legitimate? It is funny though when the URL itself is like, it's like .stream. Okay, very good. It's like it's DAZN.
I didn't know .streams existed.
It's DAZN of streaming services.
No, but we're not the demo either.
I think somebody had a lot of money and said, I want to put out content. It's like self-publishing.
And God bless, by the way, like that sentence is truly my relationship with why I work for Dan. He's like, I want to make content. And I'm like, I am content. That is me.
That's what this was. And I don't... What do I care? What do I care, Dan? There's a nice script, and they shot the things, and they gave me donuts at the crash table.
I want to talk to Claude from Along Came Paulie about Chiefs Texans.
Oh, my God. Let me think for a moment. Chief, I did not see this game. Don't spoil. That was late game.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my mistake. So Hank's got this funny thing. Hold on. Let me tell the audience what Hank does here. Hank does this thing. I think he exercises while watching some games, and so he waits. He does not know what happened in the late games yesterday. He wants to know what happens in Packers-Bears. He does not know, and so he avoids his...
Wait, how does exercise preclude you from...
Well, what happened, Pablo, I'm going to answer Claude, who was in very good shape.
I didn't want to say it, but...
I record the games and then play them back while I'm on the treadmill or the elliptical, you say? Elliptical?
You're making your way through the world on Monday morning, hoping that no one spoils Sunday Night Football.
Down to a science, how to not have anything spoiled. All alerts are shut off. Nobody bothers me. Any friend who spoils, as they say in Goodfellas, they get whacked so hard they don't do that again.
I almost ruined Chief Texans because I forgot that that's how you watch football.
I would have killed you.
So you only watch the 1 o'clock games. So as we sit here now, what are the games that you're most interested in knowing the results of that you do not yet know the results of?
Bears, Packers, and Chiefs, Texans. Yeah, and I haven't even seen the Nick game from 2 nights ago. I still have Magic Knicks in the pipeline.
And you've been able to avoid the result of Magic Knicks as well?
Everyone who knows me is so terrified of spoiling anything. I mean, nobody says a word to me about anything. And I find it easy to avoid. I find every bit of news so disturbing these days that I'm quite good at avoiding all of it.
All right, so
Wendell Carter had 3 assists.
No! How dare you? Don't blow it for me. This is ruined for me now.
Which way do you want Chiefs Texans to go, even though it...
I want the Texans. I'm tired of the whole Chiefs thing.
And which way do you want Packers Bears to go?
That's a little more pick'em for me.
This is probably the most insane segment ever done on
I'm
this
more
show.
excited.
What would you hope that this game that the audience knows already happened?
It's a fun game. It's a fun game. If we want to talk around that Magic
Is
Knicks
there
game, we
any
can
more
too.
solipsistic approach
Amin,
to sports talk?
Does Amin
than
want to
this?
give Hank any information on that Knicks Magic game from a couple of days ago?
No spoilers. Don't spoil it for me. They lose twice to the Magic already, and this was their chance for redemption. So don't ruin for me.
The fact that you know anything about the previous history of the Knicks and the Magic is itself.
I don't miss any games. I just
I'm
see
realizing
some of them
this.
delayed.
I'm realizing that you are arguably more committed to sports than people who are watching the games live because you're fighting to preserve that childlike sense of wonder.
I don't like watching when I know it's going to happen. Anything. Movies, TV, sports.
Once it's spoiled, though, does that mean that no longer is something that accompanies you on the treadmill? Once a friend spoils it, that's it. You're not even going to watch it. You've lost that as they are actively, your friends, by spoiling it, are actively making you less healthy because they're keeping you from being able to do your daily exercise.
You're being sort of facetious, but that's kind of literally true. I put it that like, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Now I got to listen to Springsteen when I work out today.
So how do you watch it though? Do you speed through it, or will you watch Texans Chiefs the fourth quarter? Or will you watch you'll watch a 3-hour football game?
It depends. I have this so down to a science. Depends on what I'm watching. I mostly root for, as a Jet fan, you normally don't care about the Jets quite early into the season. Although I will watch just to see. I kind of hate watch the Jets. Okay, and I'm very drawn to that. Then I'm always rooting for. I have 2 fantasy football teams which I enjoy.
What are their names? Team names?
We're in one league that is Godfather themed, and the name of my team is "It Was an Abortion, Michael." It's the name of my team.
What a great question Pablo asked you, and how delighted you were to receive it.
Oh,
because you wanted to tell everyone that.
My whole life has led up to that, pretty much. And my other team.
That's hard to beat. It's an abortion, Michael. It's hard to beat, honestly.
I think you opened with what is going to be the winner.
I can't top it. The other team, I'm on with my cousin Jack, and we are the Jerk Cousins, is the name of our team.
When you say you hate watch the Jets, that makes it different than how you watch the Knicks and the Mets?
Yeah, basketball I have a little bit less patience for. I've always felt like the only thing worth really watching about a game, unless you're there, is the last 5 minutes. But I will quite often usually watch the first quarter just to see how things are going. Then I'll kind of speed through the game, and then I'll, if it is a close game, at some point in the fourth quarter, I'll watch it in real time. And of course, blow through the commercials, etc.
Do you have any instances where something happened during one of these sporting events that had not been spoiled for you, and you fall off of the treadmill? That something about your equilibrium gets knocked off because you don't usually run emotionally?
No, but I've never fallen. But another reason why I watch on athletic devices is because I get so worked up watching the Jets, Mets, and Knicks. And I scream profanities into the house. I've been told to tone it down. Like my son has to tell me, my friends are coming over this afternoon, so please take it easy when you watch the Jets.
So that happens yesterday too. Jets Dolphins. That happens. You don't care like that. It has to have stakes, right? It's not a lost Jet season.
No, I will. I am a Pavlovian. Trained to scream the F word at the Jets. I mean, they're so worthy. Such ridiculations occur with their penalties and with their quarterbacks who miss throws that literally I would make. You cannot help but scream the F word.
Do you scream as yourself?
Yes. I don't mess around.
There's a deeper meaning there, I think. I dare say that Hank is Hank.
Mo don't care about the Jets,
Wiggum don't care.
None of the characters
no,
care.
They don't care about anything.
Comic book guy.
He yells at, content that way. Worst episode ever. But no, sports is for me.
It's just for Hank.
Yeah.
Does your family understand this side of you, or just merely tolerate this side of you?
They don't understand it. They do tolerate it, I guess, because they love me. But it is at times like someone scream that scared them. Somebody screams Can I curse on this?
Yes.
I'm going to scream this fuck at the top of their lungs. It took some getting used to. Like, what? They come running. What's the matter? Like, the fucking Jets is what's the fucking matter.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor. We're in the Tyrod Taylor portion of the schedule.
It's mostly directed at Woody Johnson, quite frankly, these days. You know, that's another reason why that's what I'm reduced to, is like doing like the complicated math of how the trickle effect from Woody Johnson ruin everything has created this horrible play I just saw.
But how does this change like your viewing experience, your relationship with sports to hate watch a team you love? Because this is not your relationship with the Knicks and the Mets. I mean, maybe it was.
It goes off and on. You know, since Steve Cohen has purchased the Mets, it's much more about just enjoying the product. I don't know what changed at MSG, but somehow Mr. Dolan decided to hire Leon Rose and Worldwide West and let them do their thing.
He went to build the Sphere. Dolan got distracted by the
guess.
kid and cat toy that is the Sphere.
Yes, maybe that is what happened. But I'm grateful that they have a good product now. We can enjoy them again.
The Sphere is flailing. Like they're realizing that it's really hard to pay $1.5 million in electricity a month and have to pay for the upkeep of 100,000 LED screens, and they are really struggling when you don't have casino money or hotel money. You got to fill it only with Bruce Springsteen's cover band because you need the events to bring people there.
We'll play the Sphere. I'll play the Sphere. I can play the Sphere.
What are the highlights? I want to hear more. I really do. I know you did talk about this with Pablo, but this is new to some parts of our audience. The Bruce Springsteen cover band experience, you just said it's at the top of your list in terms of things that you've gotten to do, because you legitimately don't have to be doing anything creatively. Never mind, memorizing 120 pages in a couple of months, as if you were doing a play. You're basically making all of your own creative choices, and this is a passion project that offers you, nobody wants to pay for this. Like, nobody's going to help you with this.
No.
Only customers who would come see it would pay for it. But it's not something that you're embarking on, something that is strictly you funding your own imagination.
I've actually given this thought. There's many levels. I love this music very much. It's a way to literally keep it alive. I mean, I got very, very nostalgic turning 60. All that music from that era started meaning a different thing to me, at the top of that list being Bruce music. I've discovered that singing, this is scientifically proven, your vagus nerve, it's very healthy for it. Your vagus nerve really likes it. It's very calming and energizing at the same time. It's like a chanting meditation.
Even singing like him, huh? Because that doesn't seem his form of song seems less relaxing, that it's less meditative than the average singer's soothing voice.
Well, there's something about a rock and roll scream. Like Bruce sometimes really screams that rock and roll scream. And I discovered in trying to imitate it and unlock it, like especially the way he cuts loose on songs like Darkness on the Edge of Town, there's like a primal, I think, teenage anger and sadness that is contained in that sound. It was like therapy. It was almost like I unlocked like sadness and anger I didn't know I had going back from age 15. It really is like sound therapy. And there's nothing like playing I love this music.
If I could describe for the audience the smile that just stretched across Dan's face as he revealed that actually this is all about your buried childhood trauma, Dan's like, could we have not started with this? He would have spent the last hour.
The idea that he finds catharsis in screaming for something he's buried for 45 years in the depth of his soul and feels it while singing, like that didn't realize it before, but realizes as the sound comes out of his mouth. That's unbelievable.
It was. I started to actually cry, and it's just real joy for me. And to play with all the kids in the band, they all could be my children. They didn't grow up with this music, so they all had to learn it. So it was like introducing them, and now they love this music. And it's like a family. It's all the parts of show business that I really love without all the parts I hate.
Without the bureaucracy. So the fact that you're doing it on your own, funding it yourself, allows you to make all the choices for yourself and doesn't have interference. Where do people find it? Streaming.net?
No, we're easier to find. Just go on our website, easystreetband.com. And you'll see we're playing in the city. We're playing at Sony Hall January 11th. We'll be in Aspen and Crested Butte over the holiday. And we got a bunch of dates next
These
year.
are undertakings, correct? To tour is an undertaking.
No one's dying.
But your family is having to go to Crested Butte with you.
Well, this is another great thing. They love to ski, my wife and son, so they were going to Aspen anyway. I usually sit it out because I don't like it, so I saved the money. But I booked 2 gigs, so I get to go play rock and roll, and they ski.
You know what? I'm sorry. I've Googled what Crested Butte is. This looks like a nice place.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Hank is not slumming it.
Wait a minute. You think Hank's family is skiing in some sort of whatever the equivalent is of a third world nation resort?
You're talking about Butte. I'm like, what is that, North Dakota?
We play working class towns, too. We do. We go everywhere.
Hank, it's lovely to see you. We're out of time. There's never enough time. Thank you for being with us. I'm glad we didn't ruin Chiefs, Texans for you or Packers, Bears.
I thought for sure it was going to get ruined, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm still contemplating doing that right now.
Don't do it, man. Ask any of my friends. You don't want to earn my wrath like that.
Look at him. That sounds threatening.
I know.
I get really pissy about it.
You've sort of described towards the end here a cult. You have all these people who worship you as Bruce Springsteen who they've never met otherwise, and now you have all these people who are sort of distorting reality to make sure that Hank Azaria gets a bespoke version of professional sports' most popular thing in America.
I look at it more like I've learned to ask for what I want, and if you ask, you receive sometimes.
Nice seeing you, buddy.
Good to see you, too.
Awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside for How do I not get frustrated with that? Like, I missed it for 10 days, but I don't miss it anymore.
Those are important details.
I normally don't hear, but I heard it.
All right, start again then. And real quick, Mike, just the short version. Billy being asked, where were you, Billy, on your honeymoon? This is a simple question. It gets a simple response in most circumstances, unless you're talking to Billy.
So in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, Billy, we've established where you are and what it's called, kind of. Now, proceed.
All right, so this is how it works. Crop Over is like a couple months long, and Kadooment is like the grand finale, and it's like a carnival type thing, and you guys will see from time to time, every once in a while, Rihanna will go back to Barbados, and she'll be like parading in the streets, and it's like Brazilian carnival, basically. So we wanted to do that, which is not something that at all is something that I would probably ever be in my comfort zone, right? You would think me parading.
It's a lack of repressions. It is free, liberated people being themselves. So of course that's the worst place in the world for you to be soaked in fear.
Oh, it gets worse. So to participate in this, you have to sign up with what are called bands, and they have a bunch of different bands that you sign up for. So we found a band, and then I get my costume. You have to pay to get costumes. So I'm going through the streets, and I'm shirtless, and I'm in pink shorts and a cowboy hat and all this fake jewelry that they have on that it's like massive, like this pendant around my chest and like these arm cuffs. So I'm like going through the streets dressed not in all a way that I'd ever be comfortable doing it. And I thought that, you know what, it's like a parade. It'll be like the Three Kings parade that they have in Dade County, and it'll be like a couple blocks, whatever, Thanksgiving Day parade. So when we're in the taxi to get there, I asked the guy, I go, how long is this parade? And he's like, it's 9 to 10 miles. And I'm like, whoa. 9 to 10 miles, like that cannot be right. So I'm like feverishly looking through my phone. Like, I need to find the parade route. I need to know exactly where I'm going through Barbados. I need to know.
You're doing this with like bejeweled and all sorts of fake jewelry.
Oh yeah, dressed like a clown in the back of it. And don't get me started on Barbados taxis, because it doesn't cost $20 American to go everywhere. Okay, like I went like 10 blocks. $20 is way too much to go on a taxi 10 blocks. All right.
Once you're in the cab in their territory, they've got you, Bill. It doesn't matter. You're lucky it was only $20.
Put it on the poll. Once you're on the cab in their territory, do they have you?
It's a home game for them.
A bit steep for the amount of travel that we were, like 2 miles, $20 seems like a lot, but whatever. So I find out that it's actually a 10K, which is like 6 miles. But either way, I'm not prepared to be walking through the heat dressed like a clown for 6 miles. I haven't walked 6 miles in my life, I don't think. I don't know the last time I did it. And I wasn't wearing my Fitbit, so none of the steps counted. That's the only reason I wear my Fitbit, so my steps count. But if I don't wear my Fitbit, the steps don't count. So it was a total waste of time walking through here. And I was sunburned, obviously. There was lots of
the jewelry. From the jewelry.
Oh,
Were you?
if I could show you the burn that
Please
I had.
do.
I had a
Please
giant,
do.
I think
Please
it's
do.
gone
Like,
by now.
Oh, wow.
I had a giant circle here for a little bit. Yeah. There was a big circle here for a little bit. Yeah. Everyone was drinking alcohol, but I was drinking water. I thought I was going to pass out and
Yes,
die
of
on
course.
the street.
You were careful and
obviously.
responsible at
Yeah, it was
Carnival.
hard.
of
I had to
course.
pee so many times, and you had to pay extra to use the wee-wee cart. You know what the wee-wee cart is? I didn't. I had to ask, what is the wee-wee cart? It was basically this flatbed truck with like 6 or 7 porta potties on the back of it, and you had to just kind of hop on it while it's moving, and then go into the porta potty and then hop out.
That's a heady play, man.
That's wonderful.
That sounds delightful.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Man, you guys talk about some weird time for some ads.
So what was the most awkward visually? Like where you're wearing the costume and you find yourself in an uncomfortable place in the cab? Or, like, was there any place where you were most uncomfortable wearing that stuff?
In public. I'll show you guys the pictures. I'm not putting them out there because I don't trust the internet and I don't trust these listeners because they'll just embarrass me forever if I show you the pictures. I'll show you guys. It was ridiculous. And by the way, the things that were going on in this parade.
Yeah, sensual.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I saw things I've never seen before.
Baby.
The best F1 minutes with Jessica Spatino.
After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads. F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, "Don't blame me." Number 22, Yuki Tsunoda, clips the wall and loses a tire after just 2 laps. At the restart, Sergio Perez has a lead with 5 laps left. It's time to go. Checo wins the sprint race, but Max and George have bad blood when the race ends. You guys see what I'm doing yet? Will there be vigilante shit on Sunday?
This
Max,
is amazing.
You need to calm down because it's lights out and away we go in Baku. Sparks fly, and Verstappen is driving like he's in a getaway car and pulls out into the lead. Long story short, Nick DeVries has a glitch and a safety car ensues. Perez is in the lead after a slew of pit stops, but he's not out of the woods yet. The one driver, Max Verstappen, has speed, but that's when Sergio Perez says, "Bye-bye, baby." As the race ends, Esteban Ocon goes into the pit, but the mastermind race organizers have let press onto the treacherous pit lane. This is why we can't have nice things. 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton finishes 6th. The last great American dynasty, Haas, finishes out of the points, but today was a fairy tale for Sergio Perez. Verstappen finishes in 2nd, which is better than revenge. 1-2 for Red Bull is nothing new. They don't have champagne problems on the podium, but the anti-hero Max Verstappen is only ahead in the Drivers' Championship by 6 points. Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift rumors are swirling. Long live Formula One. Max Verstappen has won the Drivers' Championship, but we still have 4 races to go. In Austin, Daniel Ricciardo rides a horse named Horsey McHorseface into the paddock. Zach Brown accuses Christian Horner of cheating, and Fort Lauderdale's own Logan Sargent will join Williams in 2023. During quali, Carlos Sainz takes the fastest lap while his teammate Charles Leclerc takes a grid penalty. Martin Brundle gets snubbed by Brad Pitt. Tim Apple doesn't know how to wave a flag. 440,000 people are at the Circuit of the Americas. It's lights out and away we go. On turn 1, Max Verstappen gets ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Sainz tries to recover, but gets hit by George Russell. The Spaniard is out of the race before the 1 lap is even over, and Russell takes a 5-second penalty. Valtteri Bottas' race ends early, and a safety car helps out Charles Leclerc for once. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll get in a massive collision, and debris is everywhere. Lewis Hamilton, on hard tires, leads the race with 10 laps to go, but the Flying Dutchman cannot be beat this year. It's Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel battles to the finish in his final USGP. Baby Lando finishes 6th, and Yuki gets a point. Red Bull wins the Constructors' Championship for the first time in 10 years, a day after their founder's passing. People are crying, there's champagne flowing, fireworks are popping off. Everything is bigger in Texas, Dan, except for F1 drivers.
Yes, it's time for the F1 minute here, even though I want to hear that sound
gave it
again.
away?
Je suis stressé pour les minutes de Formula 1. J'ai besoin d'énergie. Énergie.
Let's go, energy.
Oh,
Energy.
Bonjour et bienvenue à ceux qui parlent pour le Grand Prix de France. Les températures élevées sur le circuit signifient que la gestion des pneus va être essentielle. Charles Leclerc, le pilote automobile monégasque, fait passer à Max Verstappen pour la première place. Le pilote Ferrari doit gagner pour rester dans les championnats. Mais non! Quelle horreur! Une catastrophe! Sacré bleu! Charles Leclerc sort de la course! Encore de la malchance! Il est fini! Une honte! Max Verstappen prend une grosse avance. Lewis Hamilton, le pilote Mercedes, est 12e. Carlos Sainz, l'autre pilote Ferrari, a commencé à la 19e place, d'où sa pénalité pour le changement du moteur. Il est roue contre roue avec Sergio Perez, mais l'imbécile de chez Ferrari recommence. Max Verstappen a fini premier de la course. Carlos Sainz est le pilote toujours. Lando, l'enfant Norris, a terminé 7e. Lance Stroll a terminé avec un point. Félicitations, Mike Crack.
Wow! Oh my God! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Merci.
Oh my God! Was there an imbecile in there? Did you say imbecile?
Les imbéciles de chez Ferrari recommence.
That sounded so exciting. I have no idea what happened.
Les pauvres Charles Leclerc, les pauvres.
My God, that was incredible.
That was really
I am
good.
so
Merci,
jealous that
merci,
you can do that.
Christophe. Merci, Guillermo.
Well, the music ran out, but I think you should, because we didn't have an F1 minute today. I think you should give people a Lord of the Rings minute. Yes, I think you should give people.
Spoiler alert or no spoiler
Dangerous
alert?
game, man.
Dangerous game because of what?
To us, you can spoil as much as you want. So I say go for as many spoilers as you like.
All right, I'll give a spoiler of what happened at the end of the last
Hold on.
episode.
Let me get you
Hold up.
music.
It was insane. Okay, so spoiler. Do not listen if you don't want to know what happened in the last episode of The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. So Galadriel and Halbrand, who everyone thinks might be Sauron, they go from Numenor back to Middle-earth, and they're in the Southlands. And the guy who's like the head elf of the Southlands, who's trying to help protect all the people who are getting invaded by the ORC army, they're trying to figure out how to get the orcs to go away, the ORC army, and to get free of them. And right now, a lot of people are calling it Before-Dor. We think they're in Mordor before it becomes Mordor, before Mount Doom erupts. Interesting, because there's been a mountain that they've shown a couple times in different scenes throughout the series, right? So we're like, okay, how are the people going to defeat the orcs? Because the orcs, the ORC army, they're badasses, and they have this guy who's a leader, and his name's Adar, which means father. And we're like, maybe he's Sauron. But he's trying to get this thing that looks like a sword, but it's actually like kind of a key, and it looks like it's in the shape of Mordor. So he's trying to get that, and this little kid Theo has it, and his mom Bronwyn is in charge of all these people. So they trap the orcs inside the Elven Tower, and then the orcs come to the town, the ones that survive, and it looks like the people beat the orcs, but then the orcs come back. There's more orcs, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Galadriel and Halbrand and the Numenorians charge in on their horses, and they save all the people, and it's like, holy shit. And so Galadriel finally finds Adar, and she's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your deal is. Are you Sauron? What's going on here? And he's like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to be mysterious. And then Halbrand comes in, and Halbrand tries to kill him. And everyone's like, well, why would Halbrand kill him if he's Sauron? And this is a servant of Sauron. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. We're not sure yet. I kind of think he is. And then fast forward, the little sword thing that they had, it was wrapped up in like a burlap sack. And the little kid is about to throw it like into the Sundering Sea or whatever to get rid of it forever. He opens it. The sword's gone. It's a decoy. This old creepy guy stole it, took it back to the Elven Tower, which used to be where there was dark magic happening, shoved it in the ground, turned it. It created a chain reaction. All this water starts pouring in underground where the orcs have been tunneling the ORC army. And Mount Doom erupts, and it covers the sky in ash.
He just won with Jeremy Taché.
Because Jeremy was an alleged journalist last night. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Jeremy, who is an up-and-comer in the broadcasting game and is someone who has now journalistic credentials around, literal credentials around the Heat and the Marlins. Yesterday he was hosting, And this is one of the great things, Stugotz, this time of year. We get it so infrequently around here in South Florida. But South Florida has always done this well. The rest of the country always makes fun of, you guys don't care about that sports that much. You're bandwagon people. All right. Many of us are. Not everyone is. The loyalists are super loyal. But Miami does the bandwagon better than anybody. Miami does. Everyone now show up for the party. And so you have, stunningly, a hockey arena in the Everglades. Surrounded by airboats and alligators, filled with people to do the wave, watching the game on television. And at the Heat, across the street from us last night, Jeremy Tessier is watching the end of that game with a lot of people who are excited. And Stugotz, I'm getting a lot of this. Jimmy was out of bounds, and it ended up being a 3. That was a goaltend ref culture win. Okay, whatever. Tell it to the people who were yelling and screaming around Jeremy.
How about this? 1-1, we're coming home.
Okay, who's we?
Yeah, I took the Heat in 5. Anyone else?
Our customer having a great deal of trouble getting Mero to shut up.
People are frantically behind the glass. Lewis is here, by the way. And he is frantically, he's like running around like he's overseeing a slowly burning space shuttle.
Yo, you remember that scene in 24 when they locked down the glass and there was like gas coming in, and like the chubby dude that was like the tech guy was behind the glass. He was just like, no, that's what Luis is doing right now.
Yeah, he's a little scared because I'm not hitting the right buttons, and we're trying to merge. We haven't done this before, where we merge live New York and Miami studios, and now we've got Mero comes in, and he won't shut up. Right?
Dan explicitly was like, "Can you please stop talking?"
Everyone was trying to give me instructions so that I wouldn't do what I just did, but you're coming in here talking about
cigarettes.
Where it is that I should have watched the World Cup draw if I wanted to know what was going on with Haiti. And it's like I couldn't get Mero to shut up, but I'm excited to have him here, and I'm excited about what it is that we're doing this week in combining really the dream projects that Meadowlark has birthed here between what Pablo does and what we do in Miami. I wanted to bring in Amin here to ask you about whether or not Giannis is coming to the Knicks.
No.
Or you don't want Giannis?
No.
All right. I mean, tell me what's going on with Giannis. What do you expect to happen here over what you've seen happen over the last week?
Well, Mark Stein's been reporting that the Bucks are telling everybody they're not listening. They're not listening. They don't want to trade Giannis. I don't know where this is coming from. And pretty much 29 teams are like, yeah, right. So they just keep calling them and say, hey, what about this? What about that? But I'm more interested to hear from Mero. You saying no to Giannis?
No, hell no.
Why hell no?
Nah. Listen, okay. This is, y'all know ball more than I do. I will say that, claro y pelao. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are more avid ball knowers than me. I watch, and I, what's the correct term?
Vaguely conscious.
Vaguely conscious. I was trying to think of wagering. I will wager on occasion. Okay, so in order to wager with what I'm saying, intelligently, you got to watch the shit. The Knicks have started to gel. They look good. Even though Desmond Bain was playing dodgeball yesterday, with OG, that was phenomenal. I loved it. But they don't look bad. They looked in disarray in the beginning, and now they don't look like they're in disarray. They're winning games. They're covering. Okay, which is the most important part. And I'm not mad. Don't disrupt this shit.
I mean, this is always interesting to me when a fan base falls in love with their Hartensteins. They did this a couple of years ago. They didn't want him traded, and now they've got Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, and they don't want to screw with that, even though we've seen what the ceiling of that is.
Okay, so ball knowers, please break this down to me. How do you make Mitchell Robinson and Giannis Antetokounmpo, work on a team together? You need shooters, and if you are going to get
you're
Giannis,
worried about how Mitchell Robinson's going to fit around Giannis?
Because you got to get Cat is out of here. If you're going to get Giannis, listen, the Bucks are not going to trade Giannis for Deuce McBride and a couple second rounders. That's not happening. So you're going to have to do the Melo thing all over again and be like, yo, here's everybody. Except with the Melo thing, I was okay with it because
you've co-hosted a podcast with Carmelo Anthony.
Also, that part. But like previously, predating that, also I knew Timothy Mozgov was a bum. So I was like, is this guy, this big goofy Russian, is holding up this trade? Get him out of here. Shout out to Wilson Chandler, everybody else. This is a different situation. Karl Anthony Towns is the best shooting big man in all of the NBA, period. I don't want to hear any argument to the contrary, and I'm not saying that because he's Dominican. I'm saying it because it's the truth.
I feel like there's a small percentage at the very least that is saying it explicitly because he's Dominican.
He's 8.5%. You know what I'm saying? Conservatively. The team looks good. There's a chemistry, there's a flow.
16-7.
Yeah, I'm not
second in the East.
Yeah, not mad at the second in the East.
I think that he speaks for a lot of New York and a lot of fan bases when they fall in love with the thing that's 16-7 that's scrappy, and you bring Giannis in, and it becomes a different thing. But it's not going to be worse than 16-7.
Do y'all not think that Giannis is right on the precipice of being a bum? Not a bum.
Jesus.
Not a bum.
He had his best season last year, I think,
right.
statistically.
He learned how to shoot a jumper last season. So it's like now he knows how to shoot an elbow jumper. You're going to trade every shooter you have on the team to get him in there? We don't got picks. What are we going to do? Call Sam Presti, bro. Make something happen over there.
I mean, what are your thoughts here? Like, because I remember the 42-40 Miami Heat of Lamar Odom and Karan Butler and Brian Grant
What
not
a
wanting
team.
to trade for Shaq. Not wanting to trade for Shaq.
No, we gotta give up
They fall in
Karan.
love with the scrappy team.
That's crazy. This is not a scrappy team. All these motherfuckers are making $40 million. What's scrappy about that? I'm scrappy. I don't got 40 mil every year. Can it, clock it? Stop. Karl Anthony Towns, all these guys are all-stars. Mikal Bridges, bro, you traded all those picks for that guy to space the floor. I'm using all these, like, basketball cliches. Space the floor. We need spacing. You know what I'm saying? Giannis can't shoot no threes. That motherfucker shot 20% from three.
I want Mero to moderate a panel at the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference.
Come on. Get me on Basketball Reference. You know what I mean? Just hip firing. I don't want Giannis. I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's a generational guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He's phenomenal. I don't think he fits in with what's going on. Also, he's mad buns, guys. Are we forgetting about this? This is New York City. The first bad game he has, the Milwaukee reporters are mad nice to him. They ask the questions, oh, Giannis, do you consider this season a failure? And then remember, Eric. Eric, you asked me this. You asked me this before again. And then I tell you it's not failure. It's not failure. Tell that shit to the New York Post. That's not failure. Come on. They're going to be like Greek yogurt. They're going to have his head popping out of an Oikos bottle looking crazy. They're going to put his head on a gyro meat thing and he's going to be getting sliced by every New York Post beat reporter in the world. This is New York City. If you suck, they're going to be like, yo, you suck. Even if you suck for 30 seconds of an otherwise tremendous game.
Are you going to allow Amin to say anything?
No, let him. He's cooking. Let him cook,
He's
man.
about to slather Amin in white sauce and red sauce.
Tzatziki.
Come
on, man. They'll have a parade for him in Astoria. What are you talking about? This is like a dream come true. Like, I cannot think of another player going to a city simply for like the demographics between the Nigerians and the Greeks in New York. They would have
forget it.
A parade that would never end. And to me,
This
it's
is
like
what I'm
when you say you don't want to mess this up. This is what I ask you. Realistically, how good is this team? Is this a championship team? You think this team can win a championship with no additions, just this team?
I think this team with some bench additions. That's the problem. It's the bench. It's depth. You know what I'm saying? I think with some bench additions that are not absolute bums, this team is a championship team. You know what I mean? It's just really about depth. You see what happened? They took out the starters. Bench came in. Lead shrunk. Got to put the starters back in. If we get into a situation where we don't have to do that, I say we like I'm on the team, then we're good. But Giannis, man, I don't know, dog. It just feels very, as a lifelong Knicks fan, I mean, it just feels very Nicky. You You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's go get the motherfucker that's selling mad jerseys, and everything will be fine.
I just don't think there's anyone outside of New York who believes the Knicks are a championship team with a couple of bench pieces.
I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody thought the Miami Heat was a championship team to go to the finals. You know what I mean? When they had that little run where Jimmy was doing his thing.
Because they weren't a championship.
But they weren't. You know what I'm saying? But they got there. They got there. Every year it's a team that's not supposed to get there that gets there. Everybody's saying it's the Knicks. Listen, until Jason Tatum comes back, the East belongs to the Knicks. I don't care what y'all say.
I don't know how Mero feels about football. Are we still in the place, Pablo? I've been saying this here for a few months now, that the biggest story in football whenever the Chiefs lose, doesn't matter what else happened that weekend, it's the Chiefs losing. It's not the Chiefs winning, and it looks like
What is Mero doing? What is that?
That's the Shador.
Oh, you're showing your watch.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Shador. You know what time it is.
Losing to Tennessee at home
Losing to Tennessee. But he's on the Browns. This is what everybody keeps saying. Like, yo, he lost. Bro, he plays for the motherfucking Browns. Like, that's what they do. They lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did his thing.
I just tried to talk about the Chiefs and Mahomes, and you took me to Shador off of that football Sunday.
Let's go. Let's get into it, because that was a hell of a game. The Chiefs. Yes.
Well, Jamel told us last week. Jamel told us
Chiefs
that
are fried.
she will not criticize Shador Sanders because he represents something to black culture that is not going to be criticized. That Shador Sanders, Jamel, who can criticize?
Yeah.
Jamel's like, nope, not going to say anything bad about what he represents as an avatar.
If he plays like ass, I'd be like, he plays like ass. But I like that he's confident. If you can play like ass and still maintain your confidence and bounce back and not be ass, that's the best thing you could be as an athlete, right?
But that's what when you're watching football on Sunday, that's Shador's the one who's got your attention. That there was a lot of bad football played yesterday. There are a lot of games I was not interested in.
I'm a Giants fan, my guy.
Washington, Minnesota, no thank you. I don't understand how the Saints did what they did yesterday, other than football happens to ruin Tampa's season. But are we still in a place, Pablo? I don't know how you watch football on Sundays when you're not doing daily shows anymore. Is it Chiefs losing is still the biggest story on Sundays?
Yes, because the season has been, like, generally speaking, like, mediocre. And the question is always, like, if you're to ask me to wager on who's going to win the Super Bowl, I think until last night, I would have said, give me the Chiefs. And now I'm watching Travis Kelce drop passes. I'm watching Rashee Rice drop passes. I'm watching the team around him, as well as Mahomes himself, just not feel like... And I've held out so much hope that, like, Mahomes is this magician that by the end is going to, like, make the woman not be two severed pieces, but like one human that's alive. And I'm like, I think your assistant's dead. Like, that's my concern. And so the Chiefs, by the way, it's funny, just like the spectacle of this too. If you're the NFL, in that box, right in the Kelce box, there's Leonardo DiCaprio watching the Texans just like curb stomp the Chiefs.
It's like, I don't like this dude. I don't like it. I don't like Trav, man. What's going on? Come on, dude. You got to fix this, man. Dude, Tay-Tay, you're fumbling the ball, bro. It is the story, man, because it's like Kermit has been the story, man, for like the last how
that was the worst game he's ever played was last night, Mahomes.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, for real ball numbers, it's like, all right, bro, you have never been this ass. This is shocking. You know what I mean? And to Pablo's point, it's like, wow, you have the capacity to be this ass. And if you are this ass regularly, we're not going anywhere.
Well, but I think the Texans are the best defense in the sport, and they did that to him. He has not been ass all season. They've been fine statistically. They just haven't been winning their one-score games. But what he was yesterday, that's not – last time we saw that is when he was running around loop-de-loops because he had all his offensive linemen gone in a Super Bowl and Tom Brady beat him. That's like – what you saw last night, 3 interceptions, that's not something that he does at all.
Hasn't happened since 2022. I believe.
Yeah.
3 picks for Mahomes.
But my dad says all the time, he said, Papi, let me tell you something. Every empire must fall. You know, you think Genghis Khan, where he's now?
That's right. That's a good point.
Muerto.
Yes, ¿dónde está?
Julius Caesar, ¿dónde está?
Yeah.
Muerto. Everybody that you think is going to rule the world forever, they eventually... muerto.
I like Mero's dad as like a Dominican Henry Kissinger.
You know what I'm saying? He's, you know what I mean? He's very, you know what I mean? I was going to say Machiavelli, and he's not. He's a very good guy. Shout out to my pop, Tito.
Roy, can you get the sound, please, of Wayne Gretzky mispronouncing an assortment of names because we decided
Speaking
to bring
of geopolitical strife.
we decided to bring Wayne Gretzky out as part of the World Cup stuff on Friday. Let's hear from Wayne Gretzky as he tries to make his way through a map.
Yo, what's in Canadian whiskey?
Caraco. You don't think that Wayne does a lot in the way of speaking a great deal of Spanish? You don't think that Wayne does some Spanish flair accents on his countries?
I've been to Canada. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Not a lot of Latinos up there. I would speak to people that I identified as like, yo, you are a Caribbean, you are Afro-Latino. I can see it in your features, in your face. And then they'd be like, "Wagwan, my youth." No, I'm Jamaican. I'm just very fair-skinned.
I make the mistake so often in Miami. Anybody who's brown, I just start speaking Spanish. I make that mistake all the time. And then they look at me and I don't speak Spanish in an accent that's clearly not as Spanish.
Like, no, my friend. No.
Can I just point out that, Wayne Gretzky, just in case you're not watching that clip, his job was to read the names of countries. In the realm of, you had one job, his one job was to know what Curacao is.
Caraco. To his... In his defense, shout out to Wandale Robinson because I announced his pick at the NFL draft. I forgot what year it is, but he's doing his thing. Stud, wide receiver, love him. They give you the card, and it has the name, the university, the position, and then under it in 16 different parentheses and alternating caps, it tells you how to say these shit phonetically. So whoever was doing the cards should have gave Wayne, an old Canadian man, a card that had the phonetic.
You think they didn't though?
I don't think they did. Or maybe he's just like, you know what? I'm so good. Fuck it. Caraco. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's talking about North Macadamia nuts.
I was going to say, it would be one thing if that was the only thing, but there were other names he had to pronounce that went roughly as well.
Hey, man, y'all ain't going to do this to the great one. He not here to read. What y'all, while you nerds were studying and learning how to pronounce things, he was nice with that stick. Now you guys want to...
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, hey, yo.
That was insane.
Caraco. Nah, he said North Macadamia nuts, man. He said Mexico. He said a bunch of shit wrong.
Wendale Robinson, you introduced him at the draft?
I did. Yeah. How fast can y'all look that up? I think it was 2023. God damn it. We are
2022.
22? Oh, shit. Yeah.
Where does that rank in terms of strange sports moments that you found yourself in? Because I've got to imagine you've got some pinch me in you just sitting next to Carmelo doing a podcast.
Yeah,
regularly.
no. The number one for me ever of all time was I did some stuff with Derek Jeter for the captain when it was coming out. And it was me, Jeets, Dave Winfield, Willie Randolph, and Reggie Jackson, walking off the field at Yankee Stadium with the playing in the background, and it's just it looks like a movie scene, Doug. We're walking towards the camera, and we're just like, oh. I'm like, yeah, Dave Winfield, yeah, we're peers. Yeah, this guy, that was number one. But that was up there. That was up there.
You're of the age. Dave Winfield was the first baseball cards that I had of any kind. Dave Winfield was my favorite first player of any kind.
One of the greatest.
Because I couldn't believe it. But I thought you were too young to have Winfield be that for you. Jeter had to be that.
Yeah. Also, I wore an Águilas del Cibao hat, not a Giants hat. That is a Dominican League.
Also, your sunglasses indicate that you were also vaguely conscious.
Fried. Yo, by the way, right before I did this, there was a guy that announced the Minnesota Vikings pick who Dan Marinara saw. I don't even know the guy's name. He was a quarterback from the 60s. I don't know whose idea was to put everybody back there and have an open bar and have a bunch of dudes with allegedly CTE back there drinking hard liquor. So this dude went out there. He was like, when I got drafted to Minnesota, I was like, I don't want to go there. It's cold as heck. And then I started to settle into things, and I wondered what my offensive line was going to be like. And we had Patches Mahoulam, who was one of my best friends, we used to drink bicarbonate soda together and watch the balls and watch the ponies. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? So then the producer lady with the headset is like panicking and shit. Still demure white girl. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yo, shorty, come here. I was like, are you running this shit? And she's like, yeah. I was like, go out there, get this motherfucker off the stage. He's talking through the music. And she's like, I was like, just go do it. I was like the angel on her shoulder. I was like, yo, go in his ear and say, you are taking too fucking long. Like that. And he will get the fuck off stage, I promise you. And that's exactly what happened.
So you're alleging that all of the people who went out there were drinking too much and that the NFL was throwing people in front of live microphones. Drunk, and with some CTE.
Yeah, except for Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, very polo tucked into the khakis. Looked like he was going to help me with my Dodge Durango and shit. Like, just very nice, humble, down-to-earth guy. Not drunk at all. Stone cold sober.
I'm trying to find who the guy who announced the third-round pick for the Giants in 2022 was, but I'm having trouble when I Google Dan Marinara sauce.
You're having trouble finding what it is that he was a 60s quarterback who had too much to drink, who announced a draft pick after Mero in 2022.
By the way, the wildest assortment of people to announce picks, because before that guy, it was like some FaZe streamer kid. And I was just like, holy shit. I was like, this is the simulation for real.
Casting
this is
a wide net. They're trying to get as many different demos represented as they could.
Yeah.
As are we. Tony, are you ready to do Refran del Dia with the kid Mero?
Born ready, Dano.
Let's do it.
Damn, shit always gets me.
¿Qué lo que, Mero? Dámelo.
Estamos aquí activos con mi tigre. Tú sabes que lo que es.
Mira, estamos aquí, estamos activos. Miami está en los playoffs, ¿ok? La cosa está, las vibras están, oye, encendidas. Pero today's Refran del Día is, let's spin the wheel. Today's Refran del Día is Casa del Carajo. Would you like to explain that one, Mero, what it is in Dominican culture?
Yes. Casa del Carajo, for all you non-Spanish speakers, Casa del Carajo is a 1-to-1 translation for West Bumblefuck. You know what I'm saying? If you say, yo, I live over here and you trying to get people to go there, the first response is going to be like, don't call you about Casa Carajo, bro. Yo, that shit is 20,000 miles away.
What's the literal translation? It's House of Hell?
House of Carajo.
Carajo, actually,
a
secondary...
Also,
hold on, a secondary explanation. So Carajo is actually the top of a wooden ship where people would look out. So like a lookout post, people would send, oye, vete pa Carajo, to go out to the lookout post to look for land with a telescope.
Shit.
So wait, so what's the literal translation of the word carajo? You're saying is
go to the crow's nest.
The crow's nest
in the pirate ship.
Yep, crow's nest in a pirate ship is el carajo. So when it was obviously very far away. That oye, vete pa carajo. Eso está en casa del carajo. Very far.
Also, bonus, Carajo Land. If you live mad far, you don't live in the name of your city. You live in Carajo Land. Yo, Pablo, man, he wants to do a dinner party, but that motherfucker lives in Carajo Land, bro. We're not going over there. We're gonna empty the tank.
Is Mero, as a proud Hispanic man, ready for a Cuban Heisman Trophy winner?
Antonio Mendoza.
No, Fernando Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza. Yeah. Well,
uno de ellos.
Uno de ellos. He got a brother named Antonio, I'm sure.
Antonio is good, but Fernando is even better. Yeah. Like, Fernando is a Cuban name.
Yo, which, by the way, when he opened his mouth, I really wanted to be like, everybody say that we couldn't do it.
I don't think there's anyone who sounds less like the guy you're describing than the actual Fernando Mendoza.
I was like, is this guy from BYU? Like, who is this? And I was like, they fucked up the graphic. This is Martin.
This is Frank Medichino.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Mike, what is Columbus doing in Miami as part of Fernando Mendoza's Heisman campaign?
I was driving down the turnpike in Kendall, and I saw Heisman Mendoza billboards driving down. So it's been a big weekend for the Columbus crew when you consider, not the MLS team, the actual people that went to Columbus. When you consider the Mendoza thing, the University of Miami, you referenced how Mendoza sounds like. Let's play some of that post-game interview sound there, Roy.
Oh, congratulations, Indiana, the Big Ten champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
Flipping champs. Bro, you're a kid. You can say fuck. You know what I'm saying? You're overcome with emotion.
I want to hear that again, because that could not have sounded any less Hispanic.
He sounds like Morty from Rick and Morty.
No, what to say? There's the wavering in the voice.
Congratulations, Indiana, the Big Ten champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Let's go, guys. You got to stay thrifty.
I don't know about this, Rick.
I don't know. I need to hear a full Heisman speech from this dude now.
Yeah, I'm in favor of him now.
Yeah, like, listen, guys, when I was sitting there in my blazer, I didn't know it was going to happen. I thought it was going to go to another guy, but it came to me, and I'm just really grateful to God and Jesus and God and God and my community.
Is he the Heisman front runner now, Mike? What is the betting? Who's the betting favorite now that Indiana has just concluded its best season ever? There are a number of teams in college football. You can make the argument that Missouri, Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, Indiana all had their best seasons in program history. What are the betting odds on the Heisman Trophy between him and Pavia and all the other Latin guys you wanted me to vote for on the Heisman ballot?
I know Pavia was a favorite headed into conference championship weekend, but Jeremy has the odds from DraftKings Sportsbook here.
Mendoza is minus 2,500 now.
Whoa.
He's the favorite. Pavia is plus 900. Then you have Jeremiah Love, Julian Sayin, Jacob Rodriguez, Gunnar Stockton after that.
Yeah,
Let's go!
Your top three needs to be Rodriguez, Pavia, and Mendoza.
I
throw 50 on Gunnar, bro, just because he has a white guy name. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised that I am surprised, and perhaps I should not be, that the betting odds changed that much. But Indiana beating Ohio State, I suppose, should do that because Pavia was a big favorite before this weekend.
What is the mean age, the average age of the voting body of this Heisman?
That's a good question.
Because
Poppy had a vote.
My father did have a vote.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's going to win because he said flipping instead of fucking.
Let's go.
Lock it in. Let's go.
It's not just the age of the Heisman voter because they're also all the previous Heisman winners also get to vote.
Tebow is definitely voting for that kid.
Oh, he's stuffing the ballot box.
Yeah, it's not just age; it's also sensibility. Yeah. It's who does well in a banquet hall.
Come on, Tebow's voting for him 4 times on behalf of himself, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All 4 votes going to Mendoza.
Pablo, what were the observations that you said that Mero was making about when he walked into the room that nobody was making when he walked into the room?
You just pointed out that it looks like Dan is standing on,
waiting for the train.
Yeah, just like waiting for the subway.
Yeah. If you look at that single, look at that shot. He's just waiting.
Dan's also dressed like he's outdoors right now.
Yeah. That's how I know you from Miami, Chip. You in here with a scarf on. I'm out. Usually at this time of the year, I'm outside, still shirtless, drinking Hennessy. You know?
Well, thank you for bringing that up because I was curious. I watched yesterday. I'm watching that Bills-Bengals game was crazy. So the Bengals are winning by 10 with 8 minutes left and then down 11 with 3 minutes left. And in the stands in one of the snow games, those Bills fans, there were shirtless Bills fans. Do you understand the mentality of that? Do you understand having as much liquor in you or what you would have to do in order to be shirtless in those kinds of temperatures?
Doug, I don't know how they do that. Because I don't have a low pain tolerance. I have a high pain tolerance. But for me to do that, you would have to hook me up to like a dilaudid drip or something. Like I just have to be in a fugue state. There's no way that I'm standing out there with my titties out and it's single digits or with a negative sign in front of the temperature, that is crazy. And then when the wind blows, it just slices across your nips. If you have acrylic paint on your titties, bro, in that weather, that cannot be good for you, bro. That is definitely toxic.
That was a great Dilaudid reference because I learned what that was. I learned what that was when I was in the hospital with my brother. That is the medication that they give you when they don't want you to be feeling anything at all.
Fam,
there's nothing stronger than that, right? Like
No.
Dilaudid will make fentanyl to pee its pants in terms of not having anything in the way.
Can you put that on the poll?
Yeah, put it on the poll. Will Dilaudid make fentanyl pee its pants?
1,000%
as a drug.
It was in the thing that apparently killed Elvis in that cocktail. It was part Dilaudid.
Shit.
Just to give you a sense of.
Is that what got Mike too?
That was that milk. What was it called? It was
La Leche.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
Tony, yeah. I know Tony's in
Come on now.
Propofol.
Let's go.
I did not want us to do the "Let's Go" underneath me saying propofol, but that is the drug.
Soundbite this. Propofol.
Mike, did you know that Fernando Mendoza sounded like that when the Columbus Crew was telling you about the Heisman chances of Fernando Mendoza? Because I did not.
Yes, I've known for a long time that he sounds the way Jeremy looks.
Let's go. Yo, Jim, let's go. Yo, Jim, listen, man. That was the D-Wade LeBron picture, man. You just in that. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy
Roy,
it.
see if you can find Jeremy's "Let's Go," the lonely "Let's Go" that Jeremy did when he was trying to get us all to follow him into battle, and it sounded like a misplaced, lonely, sad person who wasn't able to summon anything in the way of inspiration, and pair it against the Fernando Mendoza, if you would. I'm stalling so that Roy can find that because I haven't tried to challenge him this technically when I'm on New York before, and so I can hear him cursing from here.
And I'm continuing to Google Dilaudid just to make sure I didn't miss any other celebrities who died because of it.
See if you can find another drug stronger than that, because I don't believe there is one stronger than that. You have 23 seconds to get us the punctuation, Roy. No pressure.
Yo, Roy's up there. I can see the screen. Do you see the waveforms on that screen? Boy, he is moving.
Yeah.
Roughly 4 to 5 times stronger than oxycodone.
God damn.
Codone.
Let's go.
Yeah, no wonder. Let's go.